Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment, here to preview Week 3 Tennessee Titans versus the Las Vegas Raiders. And oh man, we have a matchup here featuring two teams that are currently winless, two very desperate teams indeed. Two teams that found themselves in the playoffs last year and now find themselves in trouble and in danger of missing the playoffs this year. It's very interesting. I don't love it, considering the fact that we have a lot of injury issues as well. Now, I'm not too low on this team, as I told you guys, even as I ranted after the week 2 loss, and I should have ranted after the week 2 loss, because even if we lose this game, I anticipate heavily that the Indianapolis Colts, for now, are still our biggest contender for the AFC South, and that they will lose against the Kansas City Chiefs this week. However, one other important cog that has recently come down the pipeline is that it looks like Justin Herbert might miss the game this week as the Chargers host the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is no good, as I believe without Justin Herbert at the helm, the Jaguars have a good chance of going to LA and getting a key victory and going 2-1 to start the season, and then they would be the more considerable threat in the AFC South, at least in the early stages of the AFC South. And I also anticipate the Texans have a chance to going to face the Bears and beat them, but I don't think the Texans really need to be considered at all. Okay, come on. Not the Jaguars, at least they have young talent that's kind of scary. The Texans don't have anything, okay, at all. So we don't need to really worry about the Texans at all. Like, come on. That's 7 wins at the absolute best. And if that's what we're talking about, I don't want to even have that conversation for the division. Let's just forget about it. We're not, come on, let's just forget about it. Let's talk Raiders. Let's talk Titans. Let's talk injury report. Let's preview this game. Let's get in depth about this game. Let us begin with the injury report. And the big news, to me, actually, number one, is that Bud Dupree is going to be out for this game with a hip injury. This is a big blow. Taylor Lewan is also out. This is not a shock. The more surprising news, if you were surprised, I wasn't, that Taylor Lewan is going to be out for the season. I think we could all tell when he got injured Monday night that this was going to be the case. Now, this raises questions about Taylor Lewan long term. Will this be his last year in Tennessee? If he doesn't restructure his contract, absolutely. There's no way in hell you can keep Taylor Lewan under contract next season for a $14 million cap hit. Now, maybe, and look, he loves Nashville. He loves Tennessee. He loves busting with the boys. He loves the community. I think you can get him to restructure for $8 million, $7 million, and I think that'd be fair. We'll see if he does that. I think on the open market, I think he could get $12 million a year. Would I pay him that? Not from what I've seen. So I need $7 or $8 million. That's what I want. Maybe a 1 year, $8 million deal, 2 years, $16 million deal. I'm not doing better than that. If he wants to get paid $14 million somewhere else, $13 million somewhere else, $12 million somewhere else, go do it. I know he plays the left tackle position. I don't care. At this point, it's been too many injuries. I'm over it. I mean, you're talking about half of this contract he didn't play. I mean, at least 30% of this contract he didn't play. And then of the 70% that he played, only 30% of that 70% did he play well. Okay, so I don't think he's played 30 to 40%. Half of the time he's been on the field has he actually lived up to, I wouldn't even say he's lived up to his potential. I was about to say that. Half of the time that he's played, he's been good. The elite Taylor Lewan was not in this contract. In the rookie contract, there was elite Taylor Lewan. In the second contract of this man's career, there was no elite Taylor Lewan. So I'm over this. 1 year, $8 million, okay. Let's have a conversation. If he wants more than, if he's talking, I can be convinced for 9, 9.5. But come on, 12, 13, 14. Forget about it. It's time to move on to Taylor Lewan, especially like it's our cap situation, as we might have to have a conversation about Tannehill, who's a $19 million dead cap in his own right if he stays on the team and you can't trade him. So that's going to be an interesting discussion as it continues. But no Bud Dupree, that hurts. Because now you're talking about who are two best outside linebackers coming into the season, Bud Dupree and Harold Landry. And not in that order, because it went Landry, then Bud Dupree. But yes, and they're both out. So already we're at week 3. We have both of our best pass rushers out, and we have our best pass protector at left tackle out. 3 of the most critical positions in the NFL right now for us are out. 3 of the 4. Okay, or 2 of the 3, I should say, because there we go, quarterback, pass rusher, and then left tackle, and 3 of the 4 total, and then 2 of the 3 positions. Yeah, not good. And then right now your quarterback isn't playing up to snuff, so that adds to it. So this hurts. This definitely hurts. Outside of that, you have Ugo Amadi, who's out at defensive back. That's also a problem. You have Ola Adeni, who's also out. That hurts the outside linebacking pass rush in terms of depth there. So that also hurts. You look at Kyle Phillips. Wow, Kyle Phillips doubtful for this game. This hurts the wide receiver core, and the hits just keep coming. At the very least, we know this. This means he probably won't muff a punt because he probably won't play. So for the first game in his NFL career, although he won't be playing in it, Kyle Phillips will not muff a punt. Kyle Phillips will not muff a punt. Zach Cunningham will be questionable for this game. What another great blow for us. Can we get anything on the opposite side? Let's see. Las Vegas Raiders. We have Andre James questionable. Okay, we'll see about that. Trevon Moring, questionable. Bilal Nichols, questionable. You have Denzel Perryman out. Hunter Renfrow out. Now, the Renfrow one, that helps us. That limits the amount of weapons that they have. They're going to have to rely upon Matt Collins a lot more than they like this upcoming week. We can take advantage of that. Look at Neil Farrell, questionable. You look at Josh Jacobs, questionable. Did not practice Thursday and Friday. This would be a nice hit for us. I think he'll play, to be honest. That's what it looks like. But if Josh Jacobs does not play, this makes the Raiders' offense a lot more predictable. As their backup running backs, I think they have Amir Abdullah, and they might have to run him. I mean, who the hell's fearing him? So that will definitely be ideal for us. So if Amir Abdullah is out there, that's something that I'd love to see. And then who else do they have? They have Zamir White, who's a rookie 4th-round pick. And where is he out of? He is out of Georgia. So we'll see, but this would limit them offensively, and that would be a big hope for us. On offense, Josh Jacobs, but I hope you don't play. All right, so with that said, let's get into this game. Huge game. Titans on the verge of 0-3. This would be our first 0-3 start since, I mean, it has to be 2009, right? I don't think we've been 0-3 since 2009. Even when we went 2-14, we won the first game. When we went 3-13, no, when we won 3-13, we won the first game. We went 2-14, 2014. I thought we won the first game against the Kansas City Chiefs. Let me look that up real quick, but I'm pretty sure we won the first game both of those years, and they just turned into 2013. I know that for a fact because that was the Marcus Mariota rookie debut against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I remember winning that game 100%. And the 2014 should have against the Chiefs. Jake Locker gave us a glimpse that he was going to be good again, 26-10, and I'm right on that. We have not started 0-3 in a while, guys. I mean, it hasn't happened since 2009. Yeah, since 2009, as this team started 0-3, and that was eventually 0-6. What a brutal start for this team that it would be. So let's try to avoid it as much as possible, please. My goodness gracious, my Lord. So, with that said, how can we avoid this disastrous start for this football team? What are my Titan of keys to the game? How can the Titans avoid a disastrous 0-3 start? Well, it starts with key number 1. You gotta get the king going. There's only, with the passing game, not up to snuff quite yet. And I could easily say get the pass game going too, but more importantly, we're going to have to control the clock. We're going to have to dictate the game. We're going to have to return to 2021 Tennessee Titans form, which was, although we went, 12-5, it was disgusting at times, to be honest with y'all, late in the season. But we're going to have to do it. Run Derrick Henry, run Derrick Henry, run Derrick Henry. Special teams plays. Have Derrick Henry, in the Wildcat, tossing it up, getting stupid Wildcat tossing touchdowns, throwing to your tackles. I hate it, but we're going to have to do it. It's our move, and we're going to have to return to it for us to have any chance winning this game against this high-powered Las Vegas Raiders offense headed by Josh McDaniels as head coach, who's very desperate to prove that this is not going to be another disastrous head coaching stint for him. You got to get the king going, and when you look at this offensive line, you have Dennis Daly now in. as the left tackle, as the playing left tackle. Can he do enough? Can he be enough? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But we'll see. I like how Nate Davis has been playing at right guard. Run behind him and Nicholas Petit-Frere, who's also been playing really well. Stick to the right side. Avoid the left side as much as you can, but don't be too predictable with that, obviously. So that's key number one. Key number two, you got to win the turnover battle. I mean, I just don't see a scenario in that we lose the turnover battle or even tie here and still get the victory. I just don't see a scenario in which that actually exists. I think we actually probably have to get even +2 in the turnover battle. I mean, to be honest, I don't even know +1's going to do it. Now, Derrick Henry has been prone to throw interceptions in his career. This very season, first game of the season, 3 interceptions in the first game. Love seeing that. Would love to see more of that performance from Derek Carr. So if you can force that out of him, do that as much as possible. Force him to turn the ball over, force him to give it up, force him to cough it up. Those are the things that you want to do for sure when it comes to this Raiders team. Josh Jacobs, not a huge fumbling-prone running back, but if you can get in there, force a fumble if he plays, especially if Ameer Abdullah plays, because my God, now he has some better fingers you can take advantage of. Strip the ball, force it. We don't have outside linebackers that are particularly talented. I like Rashad Weaver. Only problem is I don't love Rashad Weaver as your only, and he's not even that proven, but as your only proven-ish outside linebacker, because if they devote any, and they will because they're not dumbasses, if you devote any attention to him, if you literally just say, hey, Josh Jacobs, want to just pass block just in case Colton Miller F's up? Okay, well, good luck, Rashad Weaver, beating both of them. And then what are you getting on the opposite side? Whole lot of nothing. And then right now, we don't have, look, the one thing that was nice about Rashaan Evans, who still stinks, is that he was a very good pass rushing inside linebacker. We don't have a good pass rushing inside linebacker right now. David Long is okay. We miss J.R. Brown was another good pass rushing inside linebacker. He's not here anymore. So, and Monty Rice is still hurt. So I would feel better about this if we had help inside. We don't even particularly have that. Zach Cunningham is a coverage linebacker. So that is not going to help our concern. Our defensive line. Now, DeMarcus Walker's been giving us a little production, so he can get out to quarterback, maybe force something. Danico Autry, we're going to need a big game from him. He's been a little quiet. He performed well on the Pro Football Focus Analytics stat sheet last week. Gonna have to see it on the field. Okay, gonna have to see it on the field. But I still have faith in Autry to show up, hopefully in a situation like this, even as undermanned as we are. And then we all know who will show up no matter what, because he's the most consistent man in your life. I don't care if you're married and you're a woman or if you're a man. Big Jeff Simmons, the most loyal man you'll ever meet in your entire life. Black men do not cheat, but specifically Big Jeff Simmons. You expect him to show up and do his thing, as he always does. He's going to have to force a turnover, do some miracle plays here in order for us to get the job done. And then number 3, don't get far behind. You can get behind by a touchdown, maybe 10 points. But the real reason you don't want to get behind is because, 1, the Raiders will front run. But 2, this crowd, I will tell you right now, I think the boos might start raining in, but at the very least, apathy. I think if this team gets down by 2 touchdowns, and let's say we're in the 3rd, specifically the 4th, you're going to hear some boos, and you're going to have apathy. You're going to see people leaving the field, and you're going to see people leaving the stands to beat traffic, go home, and cross Cumberland. That's what you're going to see. That's how apathetic fans are for this team right now. People do not believe in Ryan Tannehill. People are still heartbroken from the Cincinnati Bengals loss. And more importantly, people are heartbroken over the last 22 years of this franchise being oh so close, yet oh so far. And I don't even know how close, by the way. Now, I'm even being a stretch when I say that. People are sick of it. People are tired of it. I'm already seeing people selling their tickets right now. There's going to be a plethora of Raider fans in the stadium. If the Raiders get ahead, you're going to start hearing Raider fans cheering them on, and the game's a wrap. You can't get too far behind. You got to keep the crowd involved. If the crowd is lost here, this will get ugly. This will get bad. And then, my God, that's when we're going to start freaking out, even though we won't be done for the division. But that's when the fans are going to give up. Our fans are going to give up and say, same old Tennessee Titans, Jeff Fisher Titans that we've returned to, where we're hoping to go 8-9, 9-8, win the division and go nowhere. And everyone knows we're going nowhere. That's the best case scenario that we're talking about for this team if we lose this game. It's really that important to this entire fan base. If this game is lost in any sort of, disappointing fashion, apathy will set into this franchise that will not and cannot be, reversed unless if they win the next, I would say 5 games until it would reverse. If they win the next 5 games after this game and go 5-3, then maybe people will have faith again. And even that would be a stretch. If it's 4-4, people will not care. They'll say it's going to be 9-8 or 8-9, and they'll be correct in saying that. It's really that critical. With that said, what is going to be the score for this game? Well, people, I would love to come on here and be the optimist. You all know this. I get a lot of hate for coming on here and giving it how it is. I didn't think we were going to lose week 1 against the Giants, granted. So I don't even know what the hell y'all people are talking about. And I had us beating the Bengals. God, you people are a bunch of morons sometimes. I'm kidding. I love you guys. But this is one of the times, guys, where, look, I can't be an objective analyst, journalist, YouTube, whatever guy, sports commentary guy. If I were come on here and I can't be objective whatsoever. I just can't do it. There is no way I can pick us to win this game. I got the Las Vegas Raiders 30, Tennessee Titans 23, with Taylor Lewan, with Bud Dupree, Harold Landry, who's been out, granted, and how this team has been looking. Oh, and Christian Fulton should be back, by the way. And how this team has been looking, and knowing that the Raiders are desperate themselves. If we were catching the Raiders, let's say 1-1, 2-0, and maybe they were sleeping, then okay. But the Raiders are on alert. And Josh McDaniels, while I have questions about his ability to lead a team long term, and I have huge questions for this, the one thing I will say is, can he win a game with a team against his back, or with his back against the wall? And he has to, show up like, wow, Raider fan base can he scheme up a win? One win. Week 3, yeah, he can do that. It's with all that we have going on, can he make sure that Josh Jacobs eats, on these outside linebackers that are inexperienced? Can he make sure that Devonta Adams eats against, our inexperienced corners? Can he do that at the very least? Can he make sure that Darren Waller gets the ball consistently, because we don't really have a guy that can cover him except for maybe Kevin Byard? Can he at least scheme up one win? I think he can do it. And I have respect for Josh McDaniels enough to say, yeah, I don't see him starting 0-3. But the way we're playing right now, I see us starting 0-3. We lost to one of the worst football teams projected in the New York Giants, although they may end up 3-0. My God. That's going to be very interesting. But come on, guys. They're not going to like a 10-win team or anything like that. And then being blown out by perhaps the best team in the NFL, but still getting blown out. And apathy starting to set in, and questions about Tannehill, who, by the way, and Tannehill, look, man, this guy loves saying in the preseason, in training camp, I don't need to play in the preseason. I'm a seasoned veteran. I don't think I need to play. Okay. I hope you're right on that one, Haas. I hope you're right on that one. Because we're about to find out some things, some very, very important things soon, as it pertains to you, as it pertains to the future of this team. I'm not going to Vrabel or John Armstrong, and I think talks of that is absurd and ridiculous. But this is not good. I mean, luckily, again, we face the Indianapolis Colts next week, who will be 0-2-1. That's the game where the loser is bottom of the barrel. The loser is the clown show of the NFL. The loser will be number 1 or number 2 in mock drafts moving forward. We'll put on the tape for C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young. And Will Anderson. I like him too. Who doesn't? So that's the road. That's what's going to happen. I hope that we can upset. I don't want to be upset after the game. You see what I did there? But we're going to have to see on this one, guys. We're going to have to see. So, with that said, we're going to move on to the chat. If anyone has any comments for me, at me in the chat at SportsFan Entertainment. Remember, super chats always get precedence, but I will always read some comments as well on these Titan previews. And of course, I will be live after the game to recap it, as you guys all know. All right, so some comments that I wanted to call out. We already had one. Handcrafted says at SportsFan Entertainment, is Fulton playing this week? What was he at on the injury report? Let me pull it up again. He was full participation. I mean, he has not even questionable, so he's playing. He's not even listed as questionable, so yeah, Fulton's playing. All right, AC Paint said, how about Marcus now? Yeah, see the thing about Marcus, this is very frustrating because he's actually not playing that bad. He's just making critical mistakes. It's just absurd. It's very shocking because if he throws that pass that he was intended for, I want to say it was Brian Edwards, a little bit lower, the one that Jalen Ramsey picked off and he started talking about, I'm him. If he throws that a little bit lower and gets that, well, he didn't even throw it to the end zone and they score, like, the Falcons could have won that game in a comeback fashion and have one of the bigger comeback upsets of the NFL season. Not only this shortened stint of the season, but of the entire season that will come to be. Very intriguing what happened there. I don't really understand it. And then not only that, on the final, and this doesn't matter, the Hail Mary wouldn't work. He didn't get the ball up on the Hail Mary. What? And then week one, he dropped a snap in the fourth quarter as the Saints were coming back. What? What is going on? Even last week, he saved the play, but he was rolling out. He slipped down, did a push-up, got himself up and completed a pass. But I'm like, dude, why are you making this so hard on yourself, bruh? He's still showing some potential, but man, the man's damn near 30. Okay, we're not talking about no potential anymore. You can't keep making these mistakes. He still has a little bit of bonehead in him. He's a backup. Man, when the confidence got lost in him, I think that was it, man. I think everything was lost in terms of when he lost his confidence. But, Atlanta Fan 21 says, at Classic Right Society, it is, but he was very inconsistent with uploads for a long time. It's tradition, mostly the Titans content. Well, yeah, and again, guys, I'm not really worried about my channel's growth. Although this season I do want it to grow more. Literally, where my channel stopped growing is literally when I started working. I mean, to work. And I know some of you guys can just imagine this. Try. If you don't make content, try to work your 9 to 5, 8 to 4, whatever it is. If you're like me, you want to stay in shape. Go work out for an hour and a half. You have to eat food. Make dinner. Boom. Now you can make a video or not. But you know who also is a fan of Louis T or Tom Grossi or who likes watching Undisputed or likes watching First Take or likes watching Game of Thrones or likes watching Better Call Saul or likes watching the Oscars or likes hanging out with friends or likes bowling or likes playing golf or likes playing basketball? Me. So if it comes to the point where you only have so much time to create content, that's why a lot of content creators don't watch a lot of other content creators, or they're full-time. I'm not full-time. Now, there could be a day where one day I am full-time, and that's a day that I would relish. But for right now, I'm not really worried about it. As long as I still have my the subscribers and the fan base that I have, I'm happy. But I do want, and I'm already seeing, like, now they're making more content consistently, I'm already seeing an uptick, which is nice to see. David Kahn gets a super chat who says, game will be just like week 3, 2016. Let me pull up that game again. Was that when we faced them in 2016? Didn't we lose that? Because I remember, yeah, I'm pretty sure we lost them that year. I think he's talking about specifically against the Raiders. Yeah, so week 3, 2016, that was, against Oakland, 17-10. That was an ugly game. It's not going to be like that. It was a very disappointing game, too, because I remember DeMarco Murray ran well, and we ran the ball well as a team, but we just had, like, frustrating interceptions, just couldn't score the ball much. Yeah, it's not going to be like that. If it's like that, then the Raiders have a lot of problems offensively that they need to figure out because my goodness, I think you guys brought in, um, Josh McDaniels for a little bit more than that. Chef El Nabi says, should I trade Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and if so, who for? Well, in fantasy, I assume you're talking about. It depends who you can get for him. I mean, in that range, I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a sell high for sure because I don't think he can sustain the production he's having because they want to give more carries to Isaiah Pacheco and Jerick McKinnon and give themselves involved in the receiving game. If you can, I'd get a Josh Jacobs for him if you get a Josh Jacobs for him because I think Jacobs is still going to get production and value. Let me look up fantasy rankings real quick because listing off names off the top of my head is not going to be that productive. All right, so let's see. Okay, so Clyde Edwards-Helaire right now, where is he ranked? He's ranked at like running back 19. People around him that you could trade for that I think would be better. No one ranked above him. Like the people above him is like AJ Dillon. I wouldn't trade it for Dillon. Although if Aaron Jones gets hurt, but Aaron Jones is still playing well, so that's not a good idea. I would have traded for Elliott because I think Pollard's going to end up starting. I wouldn't trade it for Sanders because Sanders is still starting for now. And Edwards-Helaire is a better value. People below Edwards-Helaire wouldn't trade it for Carter because Hall's still going to get value. Wouldn't trade for Cordell Patterson because what's his name? Damian Williams, the running back, is going to come back in Atlanta and get into the fray. Maybe even Taylor Allgeier eventually. I would trade it for Jacobs, as I said earlier. That's about it. I think it may be if you have faith in Tony Pollard, but outside of that, I think Edwards-Helaire is just a keep right now. Like, I don't think if you get traded for like a wide receiver, which I'm assuming maybe you're asking for like a wide receiver. Let's look at wide receiver rankings to see what you could functionally probably get for him. If you could trade Clyde Edwards-Helaire for who do I really have faith in that people are sleeping on? Drake London, I do it for Drake London. I think people are still a little low on him. I might trade him for. If you could trade him for. People are low on CD now. If someone is low on CD Lamb in your league and you can steal a CD Lamb, if you could steal a Courtland Sutton, who's playing well, so probably not. If you could steal a Christian Kirk, probably not because he's playing well, though. Those are other options as well that I would look at. But otherwise, maybe Clyde Edwards-Helaire is something you should just probably keep on to. But it depends really on your circumstance. All right, so we'll continue. Atlanta fan 21 says 100% Domiota MJ. You're still the most entertaining sports YouTuber in my opinion, even with the limited content nowadays. Well, thank you. And by the way, this market's gotten saturated. There's now like 6, 7, 8, 9 Titans YouTubers. Half of them stink. I mean, it's crazy. So you can find Titans YouTubers out there. That's not the problem. The problem is some of them ain't very good. And I'm not going to say names. There's at least 12, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. There's more than 5, 6, 7, 8. Quebert says, as sports for entertainment, that's a crazy schedule, bro. I respect the grind. Thanks. Appreciate it. Ricardo 1011 says, with the Cowboys or the Titans go further this season, my dumbest man, $400 bet that the Titans would a few weeks ago go further. I'll say the Cowboys will have a better record because I have them starting 2-1. And this is even despite Cooper Rush. So I'll say that. But I think the records would be very similar. Very similar. So that's on you, Haas. I think it's like going to be within a game. That's on you. TT Brown says, if you are drafting at the 10th spot, what position are you drafting with the pick? Are you asking fantasy or are you asking in terms of the NFL draft? I'll answer both. If you're asking for fantasy and you're asking, which is weird that you're drafting now, but fine. I know some people that do that. That's fine. If you're asking fantasy, and let's assume it's PPR, then I would go. God, it depends because like the fantasy rankings now have changed from like my preseason ideal. Let's see. Oh, let's see. Yeah, fantasy is a hard question to ask. I hope you ask. Tell me, TT Brennan, for asking like specifically fantasy wise, because I'd have to like really think about that one. In the meantime, Atlanta Fan 21 says, "Who would you like better? Who do you like better, Drake London or Garrett Wilson?" For this season, in terms of fantasy, it's Drake London. Drake London is going to go to over 1,000 yards and easily. I mean, probably 1,100 and do well. Future. Now, it depends who the hell the Jets quarterback's going to be. It could be Garrett Wilson. But for right now, it's Drake London, fantasy-wise and even just production-wise this year as well. Queber says, as for the entertainment, you and Times Upload are the only two I watch consistently. Well, thank you. Times Upload is definitely one of the quality ones. He's not one of the people I'm talking about. In fact, when I said last year, when I was like, I'm going to make a little less sports content, make other content, specifically told people to go watch Titans Upload as a good substitute, because he's definitely a good substitute or a good compliment. You know, if you want to watch us both, it doesn't really matter, although sometimes you are on live at the same time, but you can still watch both. All right, DBS says Broly or Jiren. I have no idea what you're talking about. Does anyone have any? Are we talking about Super Bowl? Are we talking about not Super Bowl? Dragon Ball Super? I guess that's what he's asking. Broly. Give me Broly. Give me Broly for sure. Chef El Nabi says, should I trade CEH for Bryce Hall and Pollard? No. I would keep CEH because I don't know if Breece Hall is going to start this year. Although I do like the combination of getting Hall and Pollard, I don't think you're ever going to want to start Breece Hall this year. I don't think Breece Hall should ever be starting your lineup unless if you're just desperate. Whereas Clyde Edwards-Helaire can still start. Pollard, if I still think it's going to be a 50-50, but whatever. DBS says, what happened to Titans 2? One of them moved. And then, again, guys, they're just busy. They have jobs and families. I don't have a family. I can barely maintain a girl. Because girls are like, damn, you like football. And I'm like, I know. So you can come over and watch. I mean, that's what I'm going to do. I don't know what else to tell you. All right. But yeah, they're still making content. I still see them uploading now that the season's back. Jesus Christ. This is an odd question, but I'll answer it. One more question. If you're an oyster about to be eaten, would you rather be eaten with a fork or swallowed down whole? This is a good question. No, it's not, but I'll still answer it. I would rather be swallowed down whole, obviously, because why would I rather be chewed up? I'm going to die anyway, I guess. But, would I prefer the slow burn of stomach acid, or would I prefer in the digestive system, or would I prefer to be killed by a fork? I guess I'd prefer to be killed if I'm a sentient being. Then maybe I prefer the fork then. All right. With that said, I think that's a good note. I think that means we need to end the stream. I think that means we've gone too far. Tennessee Titans versus Las Vegas Raiders preview and prediction. And again, as you all know, I will be live after the game to give my thoughts and opinions on the contest as usual. And hopefully we will be here talking about a win and hopefully not another loss. But if it is a loss, it'll be another nice group therapy session, as it always is on Sports Fan Entertainment. Until next time, I'm out. See you all later.